Warning. This documentary contains images of graphic cultural events. Let's keep an open mind, okay?
Everybody should do in their lifetime sometime two things. One is to consider death, to observe skulls and skeletons, and to wonder what it will be like to go to sleep and never wake up.
I travel to make myself uncomfortable, to confront head-on the things that I'm scared of, to shed light in the dark corners, to hopefully one day have very few of them. A few years ago, I had to confront death in my own life. It was difficult, and I didn't quite know how to deal with it. So I decided to travel to a remote corner of our planet, deep in central Indonesia, a place called Tanah Toraja, also known as the Land of the Dead. I went there to look for answers, and in the end, I think I might have found some. But let's bring it back to the beginning.
We just arrived at a traditional village. One of the most iconic things about this area of Indonesia is these beautiful traditional houses called Tongkanan. And Andre just dropped us off quick and he ran over and he's like, come, come, come. And I have no idea what's going on, but there's like 200 people here.
Before arriving, I was warned that animal sacrifice was an important part of Torajan death rituals, though I didn't expect to see chickens on that list. This is how the funerals start.
And what is it? What does it give to the ceremony? Why is it part of the ritual?
It's kind of that we believe on the soul of death.
Yeah, of course.
Dying of the dying rooster called that will also accompany the soul of the body.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is my guide, Andre. He was born here and will be helping me get around to the remote villages to see the death rituals.
What animals are sacrificed for these funerals? There's chickens, there's buffalo?
No chicken.
I guess they're fighting though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there will be buffalo, pigs.
And pigs as well.
Yes, pigs as well.
And so what about the water buffalo?
The water buffalo that will be sacrificed will ensure the body. Will ensure the body entering, the soul of the body entering the puya.
Ensure the body wasn't really something I understood at the time. And if you're not quite sure what happens here either, let me explain as we explore the village some more.
Looking at some of these houses, you can see the importance of animal sacrifice in this culture. There are hundreds of water buffalo horns put up as decoration outside of the houses. And these ones were only ones that were put there from the funerals.
The reason why I chose to come here is that the Torajans are known for their unique views on death and their elaborate funeral rituals. While walking through the village, I see an albino water buffalo. I didn't think they existed. It was tied up beside some standing stones, and each rock monolith symbolizes a funeral that has happened here in the past. Some of the villages we visited this trip had full-on Stonehenges built beside them. Instead of saving for an elaborate life, they save a fortune for an elaborate death, a celebration of death. It's common for families to save for decades to send off their loved ones correctly. And correctly means spending upwards of $30,000 on buffalo to sacrifice. Buffalo are the vehicle to the afterlife. They ensure the body's passage. And just like going to prom, you want to spend money on your ride to get there. Andre tells me there's an entire sacrificial buffalo market nearby. Okay, let's go. But first, breakfast.
Looks delicious. Tastes like rice.
We arrive at the sacrificial buffalo market and see a familiar sight. It's also a market for fighting roosters. The locals believe that massaging their cocks increases blood flow to the muscles, making them stronger. Which, I guess, seems to be a universal truth. Water buffalo are bred specifically to be different colors because Turians believe the white marks on their skin emit light as they travel through the darkness of the afterlife. The more buffalo sacrificed, the faster your soul gets to Puya, which is heaven. Because of the importance of this journey, buffalo here are treated like kings. Here at the market, they get showered, they get a haircut, and they get hand-fed every single day.
And this one is all black with a white head, which means something special?
Yep, like a buffalo that will light the foliage.
Because the white is like a headlight.
Yeah,
The
like
white
a-
spot emits light.
It'll become a torch.
So he'd be front of the entourage, front of the group, leading the other buffalo forward with his forehead that glows like kind of like, you know, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Yeah, see.
A swing and a miss on my Rudolph joke. But this buffalo market wasn't the most shocking thing I saw that day.
Let's introduce ourselves.
Hi, nice to meet you. Mike. Nama saya Mike.
Julius.
So who are we going to meet today? The husband or the wife?
Yeah, both.
Here in Tanah Toraya, the dead are still very much part of the family. They have not yet had the funeral, and therefore both her and her husband's spirits are still inside this home. They are called Tamakula, which means sick, and they are treated that way.
How long ago did they pass away?
3 minggu.
The wife already 5 years, and the
3 minggu.
husband just died kind of 3 weeks ago.
He's 3 weeks.
Twice a day, the family brings them their favorite things: food, water, cigarettes, and play their favorite music. They also speak to them. They ask them questions. They say the Temacula respond in their dreams. The couple will stay this way until the family have saved up enough money for their lavish funeral. This sometimes means living for a decade with a dead body in your house. Or in this case, 2. The funeral for this couple is a few weeks away. It'll be a big thing for the family, but we've been invited to visit another one tomorrow, one that will last 4 days. We head to bed. It'll be a big day.
We're a little bit early, which is great. Hello! Hello!
Hello.
Good morning!
Good morning.
Nama kamu?
Angela.
Angela!
Asli.
Iya. Belah. Tahu tadi tu anu nak tahu. Kenal melo nak tahu kok kereta.
So, how today is going to go down is at some point, maybe about an hour or so, the deceased, hello, is going to come out of the house. The kids are super friendly. The deceased is going to be brought out of the house, and they're going to be shaken to awaken them and ready them for their journey into the afterlife. Guests are going to arrive, and the family is going to bring them gifts. All of these little cabana style things are only built for this particular funeral. They'll get taken down after, so it's almost all temporary. The giant canoe houses are always here. It's a traditional village, but a lot of work, a ton of work has been done today. That's about all I know. This is my first one. I only know a little bit more than you guys. I've talked to my guide a little bit. I don't know what to expect, but what I do know is this. Today is going to be a day I remember for the rest of my life. I'm going to see things that shock me. I'm going to see things that are going to make me uncomfortable. And that is the whole point of travel, is to swallow that jagged pill and learn and experience and become a better, more open-minded person. That is my job. That is the goal today. And I hope you guys share the same attitude, because I guarantee a few of you are going to be shocked.
And with a scream and a gong, the funeral begins. Days ago, roosters were the first to join the spirit entourage. Next, it was the pigs, sacrificed in the square, their spirits sent to feed the deceased, and their bodies sent to feed us. This causes sadness. The sick are officially about to die. Temacula to Tomate. It is the moment for the family to truly grieve. The black cloth surrounding this coffin means that it contains a woman, and she had been widowed. Next, the tamacula, the sick, is shaken and spun to waken her up from her sleep. After all, she's about to embark on the greatest journey of her lifetime, the one to Puya. But their loved one won't be alone in this journey. The spirits of the roosters and pigs are already waiting. Now, all they need is their protection. A herd of special buffalo, bred for a special reason, their life's purpose, to guard against the demons and dangers of the underworld, emitting light in all directions, plowing through the smoke, the fog, the darkness, to Puya, where the soul may finally rest.
All right, so the time has come for the water buffalo sacrifice today, and it's going to mark.
I trip. I didn't think it was going to be so sudden. I wasn't ready for what I saw. These are the first 2 buffalo of 24 that will be sacrificed over the coming week. Is this animal cruelty, or does it just feel more cruel when we see it? Is it better when it's tucked away behind the stainless steel doors of a factory, buried away like the guilt of what eating meat actually means? These buffalo will be eaten, every piece, in this elaborate death feast. Listen, I know you guys can handle this, but I've learned YouTube can't. I've had to put all the uncut versions of these experiences on Patreon, or else they get taken down. If you'd like to support the channel and see parts of the funeral that I couldn't put here, check out the link. Now, let's continue.
With that act begins the journey of the guest of honor, the woman, into the afterlife, Puya. The souls of those 2 buffalo will guide her, will protect her in her journey, and though extremely hard to watch, I'm going to remember that sight for a long time. It is part of the tradition here and a very important part of the death process here. So, yeah.
The funeral will last for the next 4 days, with feasting and celebration. After, her body will be placed in a cliff grave with her ancestors. We had seen these everywhere in Toraya. The dead are not only put in cliffs, but also in caves, and even trees. With today's celebration ending, Andri takes me away to see some of these graves nearby.
Everywhere, look. There's bones everywhere.
These wooden effigies are called Tau Tau, and they depict someone who was put to rest in this cave. Depictions of the deceased. This is a luxury for royalty. This place is like a hall of fame. Generations upon generations, grandfathers upon the bones of fathers, upon the bones of sons. Does it bring you comfort or discomfort thinking about your bones being mixed and piled with your great-grandfathers and strewn about a cave? For myself, I don't even know my great-grandfather's name, let alone where he was buried. But part of him is me. We visit other locations. They're everywhere here. Hanging graves, most of which have fallen and shattered, the wood rotten after centuries on a cliffside. Baby graves as well. Toothless children are buried in trees, the youngest of the young, the ones who were lost before they could even try. A hole is carved with a machete, then patched with palm. They believe the sap of the tree replaces the milk of the mother, nourishing the baby to grow, fusing it, body and spirit, with the tree, giving the child a second chance at life. Nearby, there are stone graves carved into boulders, in a seemingly impossible way. These caves protect the deceased, preserving them for the Manene, the giant family reunions where the living and dead come together again to pay respect to the ancestors. This is what we call in the West the Walking Dead Festival, where the bodies are exhumed and cleaned by the family. And that's where we've been invited for tomorrow.
We've arrived?
Yeah, we arrived.
This is it?
Your name?
Mike.
Mike, Mr. Otto.
Mr. Otto.
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Mr.
Yes.
Otto.
Can you speak Indonesian? No.
No. I can say siapa nama kamu?
Yeah, siapa?
I can say
What is your name? Yeah.
makan enak.
Makanan enak, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Come from?
Come from Canada.
Canada, okay.
Yeah, you come from Toraja.
Toraja. Good.
In here is your
My father here.
your father's in this one
Yes.
here.
My father and my mother and my uncle, the sister-in-law here.
Wow.
23 years till now.
The last Manene.
Yeah, the last one.
And is the family, how does the family feel? Are they happy, excited?
Of course, we are very happy, excited to meet the ancestors, our ancestors.
Grandfather and grandmother.
Over there, upstairs is our ancestors.
She's a good climber. Dressed for success with the bare feet and the suit. Whoa. Hati-hati, yeah?
Hati-hati.
Hati-hati. Hati-hati means watch out. Because look, we are literally on the edge of this cliff of this bamboo forest. Sarjani's hands trembling as he holds onto my arm. I'll be okay, I promise. Hati-hati, hati-hati.
Hati-hati.
Hati-hati. Whoa!
Look at this. Bowls, rice hats, old hanging coffins, skulls.
Welcome to the land of the dead.
These are hundreds of years old, and they used to be hanging from the cliffs, but over the years the wood deteriorates, decomposes, and the coffins fall. Here you can see a lot of things in the ground, including what looks like a skull of a child.
Roasted pork, betel nut, and tobacco are given to the dead to rise them from their slumber, their 30-year rest.
Yo.
Yeah.
Ya, dikasih nenek ini. Nah, ya. Ini. Oh, mama sekon nenek mama sekon tiro itu mi bati itu mi sesar ya lai kalau kau ibu ngisusin atau main aso rumah sakit itu laro lo komin beni pedam pisola ma rotolo sementari mama sekon mile nenek nenek palamba nenek rolo nenek undi nenek tanga kamu na mama se mo komito na
I can go in?
You need a torch?
I should be okay. I have a flashlight on my phone.
Wow. There's 100 graves inside? 100 coffins.
We can get in.
I can go in.
Oh my god. So I am now crawling inside a cave with about 100 dead bodies, 100 coffins. This is one of the family graves for Aldo and Sarjani, and 100.
Oh wow, look how far it goes back, right? These are quite wet. The coffins are quite wet, right? Even some of them, you can see there's mushrooms growing on them. So part of the manene will be taking them out and drying them?
Ants, ones that bite and sting. The spirits aren't the only ones who have called this place home. But this is why manenes exist, to care for the family, even after death.
No name, no date. It's almost fully decomposed, I would guess 100 years or something. Okay, if you look over there, you can see the entrance to the cave grave. And now the coffins are being taken out one by one to dry in the sun. Some of these are ancient. They were saying there's coffins that are 200 years old in here, in this particular cave grave. This one right here, we don't know his or her story. She's been here, or he's been here for such a long time that it's basically just bones and dirt now. But it is wild to see this sort of thing up so close. It is incredibly humid in here, but it doesn't really smell, really. It smells more like an old basement. You can smell like a little bit of dirt, but for having 100, more than 100, 200 dead bodies in here, it smells like, it smells alright, it smells like a cave. You can feel the humidity, especially on the cloth. It's very, very damp in here. No surprise, there's some heavy energy in there. Jeez. So since this grave is hundreds and hundreds of years old and there's hundreds of bodies in there, we are moving some of these down to a proper cave grave, cliff grave that they've carved out. There's also an ant problem in this one that we saw.
Wah, harus belajar to.
Bisa ditiru tuh lah.
Ayo.
Tiru dulu.
Yo sama ada Indonesia.
Ada aku pernah teman yang bukai.
Balik belum.
Situ teman yang dibuka, teman yang ditiru.
Ada ranok kan? Balik kami tidur.
Sipuna to na. Lawaran itu kasurulan to naman itu lagi. Family juice. Oh, kiri tu pario pole na. Wah, apa kamu lalu tim salimu itu meji pertama.
Bagi-bagi lah, main jalan.
Yo. Nombor sisi manusia pakai ini nih.
Mana?
Namo.
Gara-gara mana? Blokan aja
Kayak murah tuh mesti lama.
Ada yang baru nasarana.
Oh, nalah.
Kasar kata jungo.
Terus itu. Berah.
Desir nasarana.
Balau tuh.
Kau tahu?
Then the family crowds in, eager to get photos of their loved one once again.
Besar kawalan.
Oh, hindi sing dolo eh. Ate lakuan kete. Money. Ringgit Malaysia. 5.
Sandai tama.
Sini ban nomor fan semen ban nomor. Nomor.
Batas itu nomor apa? Kata kakek sih.
Ya. Wah, apa nih?
Udah dua.
With a few laughs, they try and put their great-grandfather back together.
Your father, yeah?
Yes.
This is a day of joy for the family. I try to keep smiling, but sometimes it's tough.
Okay, mama. Ada satu kecamatan lah.
Apa peraturan kita pinantalan?
Itu naloleh buka apa mesin naloleh kok.
Yo levan tuan yung tadi sa ulo to kare na sa ulo. Tadi sa ulo to kin. Kali na meron. Yan mina. Kasi kuara. Mamara pun tu lah. Cara kami tu sini nama siapa kau masih lagi kira. Yo siput dulu. Ya siput ni. Kamu ini sini.
Nah, oh. Ah, si itu nanu.
Wah, kodi itu. Di bawah cepat ya kare itu nih kuso.
When they opened this coffin here, one of the ladies came over to me, grabbed me by the arm and pulled me closer and said, "This is my father." And she had a huge smile on her face. And she wanted me to capture the moment on film because she has not seen her father since he passed away so long ago. That summarizes the feelings here at the Manene today. Happiness, joy, and the reunion of family members you haven't seen in a very long time.
I travel to collect pieces for a lens, one to see this world through. These pieces are beliefs, views, and experiences, ways to live life, and ways to view death. Whose view on death is right? Whose is wrong? Is this strange, weird, gross? What do these words even mean but a shallow reflection of our inability to see beyond our own beliefs, our lens? I had to break my own lens and pick up a mosaic of pieces from different places to see where I fit in this world. Death doesn't have to be something we hide from. It can be embraced, accepted, and celebrated. There are ways to fill our hearts with love when all we feel is pain. These are the answers that I found in Tanah Toraja, the land of the dead.
That is a very gloomy thing for contemplation, but it's like manure. Just as manure fertilizes the plants and so on, so the contemplation of death and the acceptance of death is very highly generative of creative life. You get wonderful things out of that.